So we're gonna start in quad position, do some spinal segmentation. So what I want you to do is start and end at your lower back. We're just gonna go through 3 each. So slowly inhale, moving up through the upper back. You want your head to come up last. Think like your hands and knees are squeezing close to each other. Then start back at your low back. Big exhale as you're moving into flexion. Doing your best to segment 1 vertebra at a time. We'll start back at our low back. So slowly move into extension. Good. Let the head come up last. Squeeze everything together. We'll start back at that low back. Slowly move into flexion to the best of your ability. Big exhale. Once you get to the end, push everything away. Let's go 1 more. Slowly moving, max safest range of motion. Head comes up last. And then let's start once more at that low back. Pushing everything away. Big exhale when you get to the end. And relax. Okay, moving to some neck cars. So if this position's okay for you, feel free, but you can be standing, sitting, however it's most comfortable for you. So we'll slowly start to draw the neck down, draw the chin towards one shoulder. Once you hit a stopping point, drop the ear toward the back pocket. And then let's slowly move up toward extension, looking toward the sky, ear towards that other back pocket. Back down to the starting position. 1 more that way. Again, just moving through your max safest range of motion. You don't want any pain while we're moving through these cars, especially these first ones. These are most likely your first ones of the day, which is just fine. So we're just kind of feeling how we feel. Let's take it right back. So chin towards the other shoulder, drop the ear toward the back pocket. And remember, for all these, we're working to move 1 mile per hour through our whole range of motion. Make sure we're breathing. 1 more that way. Drop that ear. Slowly moving up toward extension. Ear towards that other back pocket. Back to that starting position. Okay, we're gonna do 2 thoracic cars now. So if you wanna give yourself a big hug, doesn't matter which hand is above or below, but do your best now to keep that low back nice and quiet. So we're flexing forward, rotating one way. Once we hit that stopping position, drop that shoulder blade now to the back pocket, keeping that chin right in line with your chest. Slowly coming back down. Once more that way. Rotate. Drop that shoulder blade, slowly moving up toward extension, just of the upper back. So make sure the core is nice and tight so nothing's bleed into that low back here. Let's take it right back, nice and smooth. Drop that shoulder blade, slowly moving up toward extension. Good. Laterally flex, back down to that starting position. We'll go 1 more, rotate. Drop that shoulder blade. We'll slowly come up, extend. Shoulder blade toward the other back pocket. Back down to that starting position. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna get into our hips now. So we're gonna do these cars side lying. So if you wanna grab one of your blocks, use that as a pillow. Okay. So here, you're gonna pull with the bottom hand, punch with the top. That's gonna keep your core nice and tight. Pretend like you have a lacrosse ball, squeeze behind that knee, and we're working on the top leg. So let's slowly start to drive that knee up. All the way back, whole leg goes back. Once you hit the stopping point, let the knee drop as we rotate. You can rest for 1 second, come right back up. Start to drive that knee through, back towards your chest. Set the foot down. We got 2 more here. Up, back, rotate. Again, make sure your core staying nice and tight here so nothing's bleeding to that low back. You're not forcing your range of motion here. We're just moving through what feels good, especially on these first cars of the day. Once more. Up, rotate. Little rest at the end. Straight back up. Rotate back through. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple hip axials here, 4 total. So what I want you to do is bring the knee up, whole leg back. You're gonna keep it there. If you need a little feedback, drive your fist, push your quad against the fist. Do your best to keep the knee here. We're gonna rotate the hip back just as much as you can, and then rotate forward. Okay, 3 more like that. Rotate back, forward. Again, really keeping that core nice and tight. 2 more. Rotate back, just feeling the hip. Your glutes should be a little fired up right now. 1 more each, straight back, straight forward. Relax on that side. Okay, we'll switch. So, okay, so again, bottom hand pulling, top hand punching. Squeeze that ball behind that top leg, and let's slowly come up. Whole leg goes back. Once you hit the stopping point, let the knee drop as we internally rotate that hip back. Let's come straight back up. Drive that knee back towards the chest. Rotate all the way back through. 2 more like that. Up, back. You really want to ensure that the movement's coming from the hip and not your lower leg. Good, straight back up. Slowly bring that all the way back through. Make sure we're breathing, especially on those hard parts. Try not to rush through them. Up, back. Right here, really breathe as you rotate. Straight back up. And let's rotate all the way back through. Okay, let's hit our 4 hip axials. So up, back. Give yourself a little feedback if you need to. Keep the core tight. Let's get a little internal rotation back and external rotation forward. 3 more here. Straight back. So you're really driving that quad against your hand just to keep this hip on the axial. 2 more. Forward. Last one. And all the way forward. Perfect. Okay, warm-up car is complete. We're gonna move into our first base position, which is gonna be bear sit. So you have a couple options here. This is our bear sit position. If you have trouble sitting straight up, grab 1 or 2 blocks and you can sit up on them. This will make it a little bit easier to be comfortable, nice and upright. I'll stay here. Okay, the further up the knees are towards your midline, the harder it's gonna be. The further down, the easier. Ideally, we want 90 degrees where our shins and our knees meet, and we're gonna let the legs fall down. So we're looking for a nice stretch here in the groin area. Okay, so what we're gonna do, just give me a couple breaths, and we're gonna start with some anterior, posterior tilt. So anterior tilt of the pelvis, think extension of your lumbar. Posterior tilt, think flexion of your lumbar. Okay, so while we're doing these, note where you're feeling the biggest stretch, because that's where you're gonna lock your pelvis in as we do our pels and rails, or our isometric contractions. Okay, so we're gonna start first, nice and upright. So what I want you to do is gonna be very small. Tuck that pelvis, so think extension of your lumbar. So the belt buckle is pointing towards the ground. And then as you exhale, think about pointing your belt buckle up towards your chest. Okay, 2 more here, nice and small. Point that belt buckle down towards the ground, interior tilt of the pelvis. And then straight up, posterior tilt, so belt buckle towards the chest. 1 more each. Pelvis down, extension of the low back. And then let's bring it up, posterior tilt. And perfect. Okay, so remember where you felt the biggest stretch here, either pelvis tilted toward the ground, extension, or pelvis up. And you're gonna lock that in as we do our isometrics. So we have 2 sets of pels and rails today. The first set is gonna be about 50% of our max effort. We'll slowly ramp. Rails, the exact same, but it's gonna be much lighter than your pels contraction. So pels, what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to rotate the legs up together, but your fists are not gonna let them. Rails, you're thinking like you're driving the knees out and down towards the ground at your max safest effort as we go through these. So just note, if you cramp, that means you did way too much. That's your max effort. Tone it down quite a bit, especially for these first couple weeks. We're just moving nice and light through all of our isometrics. Okay, so here we go. Let's do our first one. So let's take a big breath. Lock that air in your belly, and let's slowly start to rotate the knees up into the hands, very light. We'll call that 20% of your max effort. With the next breath, double how hard you're driving up into the fist, 40%. See if you can push a little bit harder. Hold that tension so your whole body's tight. The knees are driving up into the fist, your core is tight. Keep the tension, your heels are very heavy in the ground. We have 10 more seconds on this first one. Keep rotating. You should feel a nice contraction through the inner thighs, groin area. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly relax. Okay, let's go right to our rails. So again, brace the core. Drive the heels down into the ground. And now we're thinking length. So out and down of the knees, trying to get them closer to the ground. Again, you should feel a nice contraction through your inner thighs. You might feel the glutes a little bit. If you do have trouble feeling this, take the outsides of your hands, try to pull your knees up, but don't let it. Sometimes that can help to give yourself a little feedback, but just keep that tension best we can. Keep driving out for 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly relax. Okay, first one done. We're just gonna take a couple recovery breaths here. This next set, at least on pales, we're gonna try to ramp to about 60 to 70% of our max effort. So not quite as hard as you can, but close enough. Rails can be exactly the same, if not a little lighter. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a big breath in. Remember where you felt that bigger stretch. Lock the pelvis in, brace the core, and let's slowly start to rotate the knees up into the fist, nice and light. We'll call it 20%. Next breath, double that tension, 40. Keep pushing harder. We'll say 60%. See if you can push a little bit harder and hold that tension. We have 15 seconds here. So the heels are nice and heavy. You're driving those knees really hard into the fist for 10 seconds. Keep pushing. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly relax. Okay, right to rails. 3, 2, 1. Drive those heels. Think lengthen out of the knees. So you're really trying to get those closer to the ground. Feel the contraction through the groins. Breathe. Keep the tension through the core so nothing's bleeding through the low back. Keep reaching. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly relax. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna do one set of 5 eccentrics here on each side. So what this is gonna look like, if you wanna start, whichever leg you wanna start with, you're gonna bring it up. You're gonna fight this tension down. So you're gonna push down with the hand, but the whole time you're trying to fight the hand up, but you're gonna let the hand win, okay? So if you wanna take a big breath, give yourself a little tension with either the hand or the fist, drive the heel, and we're slowly rotating down all the way to the end range. You'll reset all the way up. Little tension through the fist. Fight that knee up, so you should feel a good contraction here through the groin, maybe the outside of the glute. Good, all the way up. 3 more. Give me that tension in that fist. You're really fighting that knee up. Each time, try to get a little bit more range of motion. 2 more. A little tension, the heel's heavy. Fight that knee up into the fist, all the way down. Once more here. Good tension. Really driving all the way down. And relax. Okay, side 2. So let's bring that knee all the way up. Drive the heel. Little tension through the fist. You're fighting the knee into that fist the whole time, but you're letting the fist win as you're rotating all the way down. Reset. Good tension. Driving that fist down, fighting it up. Perfect. 3 more here. Tension through the fist. Heel nice and heavy. Good. Yep, make sure you're breathing through all these. Little tension. Really driving that knee into the hand. Feel the contraction through that whole inner thigh. Let the whole hip rotate down. 1 more here. Good tension. Fight it up all the way down. Nice. Okay, we're done with our bear sit.